Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the American Institute of Architects Center for Architecture for today's Buildings of Excellence Round 4 Awards Ceremony. Hello, may we have your attention, please? We are going to get started. Welcome to today's Buildings of Excellence Round 4 Awards Ceremony. Please welcome today's featured speakers. Jesse Lazar, the Executive Director of AIA New York. Daren Harris, the President and CEO of NYSERDA. Lois Arena, Director of High Performance Building Solutions, Stephen Winter Associates. Jacob Moore, the Executive Director of the Architectural League of New York. And Ilya Azaroff, FAIA, AIA National 2023-25 At-Large Director, the 2021 AIA New York State President, and founding principal of Plus Lab Architect PLLC, and Associate Professor, New York City College of Technology.
We are shaping a healthier, brighter future for New York, redefining construction, creating structures that breathe sustainability, making a commitment to a greener tomorrow. You are part of this journey toward a climate-resilient state, a journey in which we are building a better today for an even greater tomorrow.
Good morning, and welcome to the Buildings of Excellence Competition Round 4 Awards Ceremony. Thank you all for joining us both in person and virtually. My name is Jesse Lazar, and I am the Executive Director of the American Institute of Architects, New York. As the nation's oldest and largest AIA chapter, we have been promoting the program's winning projects, designs, and solution sets to our community of deeply engaged members who want and need to hear about this work. I am proud to be here with you again today as your MC to celebrate the truly ambitious, clean, and resilient building projects being supported through the Buildings of Excellence Competition, a first-of-its-kind initiative administered by the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority, NYSERDA, the state's clean energy agency. We once again have gathered inspiring industry leaders and visionaries who are changing the way we think about the spaces we create and our built environment for generations to come. These projects demonstrate how New York is leading the way to a zero-emissions future, thanks to the commitment of every person, both in this room and those joining us virtually today. I'd like to thank all of the stakeholders who have partnered with NYSERDA on this effort, speakers and guests for joining us to recognize these exceptional projects. Now, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Daren Harris, President and CEO, NYSERDA. Daren has held public and private sector leadership roles advancing clean energy projects and engineering companies for more than 20 years. She has overseen the state's nation-leading advancement of renewable resources under the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act, including the development of offshore wind. Daren was also instrumental in advancing legislation modernizing the siting of large-scale renewable energy projects across New York. And Daren co-chaired the Climate Action Council under the Climate Act, which was responsible for developing a comprehensive scoping plan and framework for how New York will reduce greenhouse gas emissions, increase renewable energy use, and ensure all communities equitably benefit in the clean energy transition. Welcome, Daren.
Well, thank you, Jesse, and thank you for your leadership and partnership as we celebrate another round of winners of the Buildings of Excellence competition. So good morning, everyone. Again, I'm Daren Harris, President and CEO of NYSERDA. It's a real honor to be here today. I do want to acknowledge a few key partners who are here in the room. NYSERDA board member, Arturo Garcia Costas. Welcome, Arturo. I don't know that I saw you, but I hope you're here. Michael Ingui, President of Ingui Architecture and founder of Passive House Accelerator. Katrin Klingenberg, Executive Director and co-founder of the Passive House Institute US. And of course, NYSERDA team members here today. I always have to celebrate my colleagues, so congratulations and thank you all for joining us. I certainly want to start by thanking the American Institute of Architects for welcoming us not only here, but to this venue that's reflective, really, of what can happen here in New York City and around the state. Certainly a building that exemplifies the innovation of this competition. AIA has been a trusted partner for NYSERDA on this and so many initiatives with leadership from Ilya Azaroff, founding principal at Plus Lab Architect PLLC and Associates, and certainly so many here in the room to celebrate together, both virtually and in person. So certainly building on our previous successes, we are here today to celebrate what is a fourth round of trailblazers and champions of resilient buildings in the Empire State. Truly visionaries who are advancing buildings as beacons of sustainability and paving the way for a brighter, greener future for all. And when I say reaching this milestone is a milestone to celebrate, I am really noting that it is nothing short of amazing. Certainly it demonstrates our continued leadership as a state in recognizing that this transition can and will happen, and it will happen even in a state like New York with as complex buildings as they come. So this program was launched in 2019. And one would say, well, why are we still running a program 5 years later? The answer to me is very much that we are part of an evolution around the design, the construction, and the operation of high-performance, clean, and resilient buildings that offer predictable revenue and costs. So when we're part of a revolution, we're going to stick with it. And certainly guided by industry experts, this is a revolution of the new construction and adaptive reuse of multifamily housing and mixed-use buildings by demonstrating that they can be built cost competitively compared to traditional fossil fuel-dependent dwellings. And I think importantly, the priority that this program places on benefits coming to disadvantaged communities around our state is reflective not only of our Climate Act writ large, but also the ways in which what we are doing in New York is serving as a model, certainly nationally and beyond. In fact, here alone, 65 new construction and adaptive reuse projects have been awarded in the first 4 rounds of the competition, and more than 2/3 of those high-performing new construction buildings serve affordable housing markets, with more than half of these projects located in disadvantaged communities. So how awesome is that? We're literally demonstrating that not only is this possible, but it's possible at the scale needed to get at our Climate Act goals. And what is most exciting to me is that we actually have projects that are now constructed. Nothing better than a ribbon cutting to really celebrate the milestones. In fact, earlier last month, Colonial 2 Apartments, which was a round 2 early stage design winner, held a ribbon cutting ceremony. And this was a carbon neutral public housing development with 74 modern energy efficient residents for seniors and individuals with disabilities. Another great example of how impactful these Buildings of Excellence projects can be is Help One from round 1 of the competition. And this is creating safe, affordable housing by creating 255 low-income and supportive homes with 154 units reserved for individuals and families who have experienced homelessness, all the while designed to meet sustainability standards. So when we think about how to demonstrate this carbon neutral future, this is very much what Buildings of Excellence is all about. And when we think about how we are going to get to our Climate Act goals, look no further than our buildings. Certainly the largest source of greenhouse gas emissions across our state, but also a goal to create 2 million climate-friendly homes by 2030. So how do we get from here to there? We need partnerships. We need partnerships such as those demonstrated with today's awardees, driving statewide change and demonstrating that we can and will do this together. So we are already awarded 65 different projects, but that is just the beginning, and more are on the horizon. So when we look at improving the energy efficiency, resilience, and comfort of our buildings, we have to do so to create healthier, thriving communities across our state. So as excited as I am to be here today, I will be equally excited later this year to kick off round 5 of this program. It is certainly true that our work continues to evolve and change, and we're thrilled that you're each here as partners to celebrate, but also to take those next steps together. So it is my honor and pleasure, as I conclude my remarks, to introduce, as I said, a true partner in this important effort, someone whose work is instrumental as we continue our path to reach our climate and clean energy goals in New York and beyond. So please join me in welcoming Lois Arena, Director of High Performance Building Solutions at Stephen Winter Associates. Lois.
Good morning. Thank you to NYSERDA for inviting me. I've been very proud to be part of this partnership for many years now. I was asked to give a few remarks on how we got here and how we started, so I get to brag a little bit about myself. We are basically a research, consulting, and advisory firm that has been working in the building sector for over 50 years now, which is really exciting. I began with Passive House back in 2010, so 14 years ago, and we had gotten, within 2 weeks, like 3 different calls from very different clients saying, "Do you guys do Passive House?" And I was like, I don't know what Passive House is. So we started to research it, and I went to Stephen Winter himself, and I said, we think we need to do this. And he goes, oh, you know, I got the eye roll. How much is it going to cost me? And believe me, it was one of the best decisions he ever made. We started with a very small eco-village co-housing community project in upstate New York. And then our second big project actually was Cornell Tech, the 26-story grad student tower on Roosevelt Island. And believe me when I tell you, I was the most experienced Passive House person on that project. No one had experience with Passive House, and no one knew how to do big buildings, not even me. So we quickly brought on Thomas O'Leary from Passive House Academy to be our certifier on that project. And Tomas didn't know big buildings either. So what he did for us was he created a trip back in 2015 to go to Brussels, who had just adopted Passive House as their code. And so we went on this learning, exploratory mission to Brussels. And we went with Steve Winter, Building Energy Exchange, the City of Vancouver. There were architects, policymakers, developers, everybody related who was working on Cornell Tech. We all went over and had a 3-day intensive overload of Passive House projects that were in development and had been done. So that when we came back, we were just infused with energy. And what we did was we started a mission to just get the word out, that it could be done, that it was possible. Anything we could share, we shared. So fast forward to 2019 when NYSERDA started Buildings of Excellence. We were part of round 1. We were very proud to be part of that. Several projects entered the competition. We have been associated with 12 winners since that first round. We're very proud of that. We're very proud to work with the developers who are putting themselves forward, who are the front runners, who are the forward thinkers, who are really not scared to take risks. And this program, seriously, and I'm not just saying that because they invited me here to speak, this program has really helped us advance Passive House throughout the state and beyond the state. We direct all of our teams who have any questions about cost and viability to NYSERDA's Building of Excellence website, which is all the transparency of what the project teams have been through, the costs in particular, and now we're starting to get data on how they actually perform. So it's really been a really great infusion into the Passive House industry. So to date, We have certified over 1.5 million square feet of buildings. That's over 18 buildings and more than 2,000 housing units. We have 4.8 million in design right now, another 56 buildings, and we have 2.9 million in construction, square feet of buildings in construction. So this is over 12,000 units of affordable housing, some market rate, but the majority affordable housing that is getting built to the Passive House standard affordably and efficiently. So we don't only work on multifamily, though. This has also led to office space, student housing, retail, labs, and many more that are going to Passive House now. So we're just breaking into all of these other typologies to open the pathway to Passive House for all of our buildings. The concepts are applicable to all of our buildings. So programs like this really help to revolutionize the marketplace. They really do. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for your time. Please welcome Jesse and Doreen back to the stage for the awards.
And now moving to the moment we've all been waiting for, the awards presentation. To tell us more and present these awardees, who are also Blue Ribbon for Design Excellence recipients, I would like to introduce Jacob Moore, Executive Director of the Architectural League, who led the Design Excellence Review and Jury. Jacob is a writer, editor, curator, and formerly served as the Associate Director of the Temple Hoyne-Well Center for the Study of American Architecture at Columbia University's Graduate School of Architecture, Planning, and Preservation. Jacob was also an editor with Princeton Architectural Press. And following Jacob, to announce our remaining winners, will be Ilya Azaroff. Ilya is an architect, geographer, professor at CUNY New York City College of Technology, and the founding principal of Plus Lab, Architect PLLC, whose founding mission is to build resilient capacity and advance goals for a sustainable, regenerative future. He is an internationally recognized leader in disaster mitigation, adaptation, regenerative planning, and design, and has worked in the field for over 30 years. Ilya is a technical advisor on the New York State Climate Impact Assessment and is pleased to be serving on the AIA National Board of Directors, as well as leading the organization's delegation to COP28. He's also a member of our chapter here. Please join me in welcoming Ilya and Jacob.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm delighted to be here representing the Architectural League of New York, which for several years now has been working with NYSERDA to make overall design quality an important criterion for the evaluation of the Buildings of Excellence projects. The League is a cultural organization that supports critically transformative work in the allied fields of the built environment that address the converging crises of racism, inequity, and climate change. We do this in a number of ways, by conceiving and carrying out local, regional, and national projects, urban planning and landscape, by convening public programs of varying scales and areas of focus, and just generally by bringing together a community of people who are invested in making the built worlds around them better and helping each other do that work. It's great to be presenting this round of Blue Ribbon for Design Excellence Awards that spotlight design quality, innovation, scalability, and replicability. Design excellence is achieved through the careful synthesis of context, materiality, functionality, resiliency, and energy efficiency. All the Round 4 projects exemplify the holistic thinking that is the distinguishing characteristic of exemplary design, while helping meet New York's pressing need for more housing and community space, with low-carbon, amenity-rich projects that provide a beautiful and comfortable setting for occupants. In fact, in an exciting development for this round, for the first time, all award winners are committed to achieving Passive House certification, signaling that the industry is embracing the comprehensive benefits of Passive House construction. We once again convened a design jury to draw particular attention to the projects that combine these characteristics of design quality at the site, building, and unit scale. This year, we brought together 4 accomplished jurors to engage in thoughtful conversation and identify the awardees that most effectively met the multiple criteria for design excellence. The jurors include Ilya Azaroff of Plus Lab, who you'll hear from in a moment, Arthur Liu of Studio Gang, Julie Nelson of BKSK Architects, and Stacy Wong of Gluck Plus. Once again, the projects left our jurors humbled and inspired. So I'm pleased to now present the 4 Blue Ribbon for Design Excellence winners. Our first and distinguished Blue Ribbon for Design Excellence winner is the Malcolm Shabazz Harlem Plaza, located in Harlem, New York, which is receiving a $1 million Buildings of Excellence Award. Malcolm Shabazz Harlem Plaza will bring much-needed housing that will serve low to moderate income households in combination with mixed-use commercial space to the Harlem neighborhood. The commitment to strengthening a long-standing center of neighborhood culture and incorporating an inspired vision for how people will live in and use the variety of spaces within the residential building and across the site contributed to this project's Design Excellence Award. The building will be outfitted with cutting-edge domestic hot water production systems, unique heat recovery and economizer systems, and on-site renewables with battery backup. Other resilience aspects include a rainwater capture system on the roof and providing 2 areas of refuge for building occupants during power outages. Here to accept the awards are the developer, Malcolm Shabazz Development Corporation, represented by Imam Isaac M. Pasha, and the designer, Edinger Engineering Associates, represented by Ed Edinger. Congratulations on your award. Congratulations. The next Blue Ribbon awardee is Carmen Viegas Apartments, located in East Harlem, New York, which is receiving a $1 million Buildings of Excellence Award. Carmen Viegas Apartments is a new mixed-use development that thoughtfully combines senior apartments and amenity spaces like ground floor retail, landscaped rooftop terraces, and a community facility space for LGBTQ seniors. Features that earn this project a Design Excellence Award include a floor plan design that maximizes natural light, including windows and egress stairs, and a prefabricated panel facade that helps to bring texture and a sense of delight to the building's large scale. The building will feature a geothermal system that will meet heating, cooling, and domestic hot water needs. During emergencies, an area of refuge with mechanical ventilation will be available to residents, staff, and the surrounding community. Here to accept the awards on behalf of the developer team of Ascendant Neighborhood Development Corp., Urban Builders Collective, and Silent Products is Nena Lynch. And for the designer Magnuson Architecture and Planning PC, we have Fernando Vila. Congratulations to you all. The next Round 4 awardee and Blue Ribbon winner is Livingston Apartments Phase 2, located in Albany, New York, which is receiving a $1 million Buildings of Excellence Award. Livingston Apartments Phase 2 offers 80 affordable dwelling units for formerly homeless veterans. The project's design elegantly fits with the existing neighborhood context, a former school campus that was previously converted to affordable housing, and the programming weaves in important on-site services. Careful consideration and sensitivity has been paid to the veteran population that will live here, in particular with regard to sound attenuation. In an environment where this isn't necessarily the norm, the project thoughtfully incorporated parking under the building to ensure maximal use of open space by pedestrians. Livingston Apartments Phase 2 has a geothermal system to provide heating and cooling, CO2 heat pumps to provide domestic hot water, and a centralized energy recovery ventilation system. And here to accept the awards is Christina McPike of Wind Development, representing the developer team of Soldier On, and Wind Development, and Natalie Seagriff, representing the designer SWBR. Congratulations to the team. fourth and final Blue Ribbon awardee is 3 Arts, located on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, which is receiving a $1 million Buildings of Excellence Award. The 3 Arts project will renovate an existing historic building into 61 sustainable and affordable senior housing units. The design maintains legible the original typology of a women's dormitory, allowing its importance in the history of women's liberation to continue to connect with and inspire current and future generations of designers and visitors. The project has a strong focus on minimizing energy consumption while providing a safe, healthy, and comfortable living environment for residents. 3 Arts is equipped with package terminal heat pumps for heating and cooling, CO2 air source heat pumps for domestic hot water, and a centralized energy recovery ventilation system. The project will showcase the ability to upgrade historic building stock to zero emission status. Here to accept the awards are the developer Westside Federation for Senior and Supportive Housing, represented by Paul Freitag, and designer Curtis and Ginsberg Architects, represented by Sean Flynn. Congratulations. Congratulations again to everyone. I'll turn it now over to Ilya, who will announce the rest of the Buildings of Excellence Award winners.
Thank you, Jacob. It's great to be here today, and congratulations to the first 4 award winners receiving special recognition as Blue Ribbon for Design Excellence awardees. As architects, we have a unique ability to use design as an essential tool to create buildings to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public. Architects also have the power to be change agents, acting on the climate crisis and reimagining the environments to create, sustain, and build resilient capacity. We must elevate our work and embrace a true framework for design excellence that will accelerate the significant transformation that is needed in all of our communities, building by building. What we design and develop today is really creating a better tomorrow. High-performance buildings ensure longevity and a return on investment for the communities, occupants, developers, and the buildings themselves. Projects awarded through the Buildings of Excellence program have proven that clean, resilient, and zero-emissions buildings are not only possible, but they're beautiful, they're comfortable, and affordable at any scale. Through my years of involvement with the Buildings of Excellence competition, I've seen this program evolve, and it continues to set the horizon well beyond the current standards. This round's commitment to Passive House certification is one example of this evolution. The competition continues to serve as a beacon of where design and development industries, supported by good governance and stakeholder advocacy, creates lasting positive change. Previous awardees are providing fantastic stories of success and solution sets that are scalable and replicable across different building typologies and locations, demonstrating true climate action. Continuing to highlight and amplify these projects will be how we address the long-term environmental impacts we're experiencing with climate change. Global challenges need global solutions, and New York is leading the way. Designers and developers are leading communities to a better future by visualizing and implementing these solutions. I continue to be very hopeful that these designs and innovations become business as usual, ultimately delivering better living conditions across all communities, not just in New York, but everywhere. And now I'll present the remaining awardees and their inspirational projects. So our first awardee, or the next awardee, is 247 East 117th Street, located in East Harlem, which is receiving a Buildings of Excellence Award of $883,020. This will be a 15-story multifamily building aiming to set forth scalable, repeatable model of sustainable urban development. The project will be built with off-site modular prefabricated assemblies, reducing the building's construction time as well as delivering a high-performing envelope. The project was developed by a New York City-based, minority-led design-build firm that applies best practices and technologies from advanced manufacturing. Here to accept the awards are the developer, 247 East 117th Street LLC, a subsidiary of Assembly OSM, represented by Andrew Staniforth, and the designer, AOSM Architecture, DPC, represented by Allison Burnett. The next winning project is 819 Grand, located in Brooklyn, which is receiving a $1 million award. 819 Grand provides 217 units over 14 stories in East Williamsburg. Together with the adjacent affordable senior housing residence, 819 Grand will create campus-style affordable senior housing for 367 residents, with over 11,000 square feet of amenities, 13,500 square feet of open space, and 5,000 square feet of neighborhood retail space. This building will utilize geothermal heating and cooling, a rooftop solar canopy, and resiliency measures such as mechanical ventilation to common spaces and areas during power outages, and an area of refuge for 164 residents. And here to accept the awards are the developer, St. Nick's Alliance, represented by Charlie Stewart, and the designer, Curtis and Ginsberg Architects, represented by Crystal Ng. Our next awardee is Arburn East Building D, which is receiving a $1 million award. Located on the Rockaway Peninsula in Queens, Arburn East Building D will serve as the first residential phase of a larger Arburn East project and will provide indoor and outdoor amenity spaces along with affordable housing for residents. One project design highlight noted by the scoring committee is the massing of the building, specifically the stepping of the massing down towards the ocean. Arburn East Building D project will include rooftop solar, as well as in the initial phases of a larger project's district geothermal loop, which will ultimately meet all the heating, cooling, and water heating needs for the campus. And here to accept the awards are the developer, L&M Development Partners, represented by Sarah Levinson, and the designer, FX Collaborative LLP, represented by Wendy Shaffron. Congratulations. Our next awardee is North Miller Passive 2, located in Newburgh, New York, which is receiving $124,000 award. North Miller Passive 2 is a 6-unit, 3-story building that will provide needed affordable housing while matching the historic character and scale of the neighboring buildings in its downtown location. The project aims to demonstrate how FIAS certification can be replicated in smaller projects and buildings by simplifying processes and trialing new mechanical technologies. In fact, the project is committed to achieving a more stringent FIAS 0 certification. In addition to the novel heat pump systems that provide heating, cooling, and domestic hot water, the building will feature rooftop solar as well as battery storage systems. Panelized construction will reduce construction time and costs and ensure high-quality outcomes. And here to accept the awards today are the developer, Stephen Taya Property Development, represented by Michael Robinson, and the designer, Northeast Projects, represented by John Loescher. Congratulations. Our final awardee is The Beacon, located in East Harlem, which is receiving a $1 million award. The Beacon will provide 274 units of affordable housing over 21 stories. The building will deliver high performance through a combination of advanced mechanical systems and highly efficient building envelope systems. The building controls and resident engagement systems, along with time of use utility rates, will seek to lower operations costs. The new construction portion of the Beacon site joins the rehabilitation of a community services building and includes landscaping and links of an active existing community to new programs, as well as some architectural additions. And here to accept the awards are Brian Backscheider of the Community Builders, Inc., representing the community development team of the Community Builders and Ascendant Neighborhood Development Corporation, and the designer, Paul A. Castrucci, architects, represented by Vera Poveva. Congratulations to all. And now I'd like to bring back to the podium Jesse for the remainder of the program. Come on up, Jesse.
Thank you, Ilya. Congratulations, everyone. Before we close, I wanted to speak a bit about the Early Design Support Funding Opportunity, which was launched with Buildings of Excellence Round 3. Early Design Support Funding provides critical support to the firms advancing multifamily building design to meet or exceed future code requirements, achieve high performance, and maximize occupant health and comfort. By providing funding on a project-by-project basis, the program looks to build the technical capacity of design firms in an effort to implement scale and replicability and reduce soft costs and market barriers that these firms may face. For developers, the program builds confidence in zero emissions projects by lowering the financial risk. The 11 projects that have received funding so far have investigated topics ranging from passive house design integration to embodied carbon evaluation to third-party certification feasibility to advanced mechanical system analysis. We encourage you to learn more about these funded projects upstairs in the Hines Gallery during the reception. And that brings us to the end of our ceremony. Congratulations again to all the winners today. It is clear that you and your teams invested extraordinary thought and resources to create designs that push the boundaries of what is possible for clean and resilient buildings and move the state closer to a clean energy future. Thank you to NYSERDA's President and CEO, Daren Harris, to Jacob Moore, Ilya Azaroff, and all the elected officials and attendees, both in person and virtual, for being with us today. Please join us upstairs for a reception, unless you're a project team, in which case, please stay here for group photos. And then you'll be free to enjoy the refreshments upstairs as well. Thank you again.